You see my screen?
Yeah.
Even Doge of War. Blues coming in. Right on. I kind of wanted to start actually today just with the week ahead. I post this in the market outlook, but last Friday's, let me see, previous week. Cool. Last Friday's non-farm payroll. This guy is the one that will always determine kind of like the whole course of the month every month. What is this ad popping up here? Get out of here. See if I can drill into these numbers. But so there's ADP and there's this non-farm payroll, and they both track jobs. And ADP doesn't have visibility to public markets, so they do like payroll for all the private companies, and they were expecting a lot better numbers. So the difference between them and this right now, for sure, is government jobs. So really, government jobs are not coming back online. Not able to really. Where is the raw numbers? But well, you guys can find it later on if you want to look for it. But there was a lot of other stuff that looked actually really good. Like there's more jobs, definitely in the services sector, and it really wasn't nearly as bad as it looked like it was just on the headline. So I think that generally speaking, the market's going to probably digest that for a while as they drill into it. But anyways, so we don't have a whole lot today. Tuesday we have JOLT, which is the job opening, current job openings, and we have some 10-year auctions. So I think that's going to affect probably mortgage or interest rates. Wednesday we have core CPI. So since the non-farm payroll number was kind of iffy, I think a lot of people are going to start looking at this more frequent data. This core CPI is inflation. So consumer price index X food and energy is core, which is really weird because core is like pulling out all the important stuff, what we spend the most of our money on. It takes all of that out, and that is actually the number that the Fed looks at the most. I think that the non-farm payroll number that came out initially, it was like, oh, well, we're not doing as good as we thought we were. So therefore, interest rates won't be going higher since we still need some stimulus. And that was the first reaction on the market. That would be good for tech because tech is highly leveraged generally. But then as you looked into the report, it was like, well, actually, it was really mostly just government public agencies that are hurting. So it's a little bit of toss up. And then the energy trade kind of towards the end of the day on Friday was pretty evident that went right back on track. So Wednesday, we have a big day. What's up, man?
What's cracking?
Justin. Just looking at the week. So Wednesday, I think we're going to have a big turning point day. We have FOMC minutes. So that's always a big market mover. It's delayed data, though. So it's not new news, but for whatever reason, it does move the market. So we have core CPI Wednesday, FOMC minutes, and actually a 30-year bond auction. So I would expect rates to be flying around like crazy. So maybe we get a little run towards the beginning of the week, and then Wednesday morning it starts to get, I would expect, pretty choppy. We also have producer price index. So core CPI is the measurement that the Fed looks at. It's inflation. So if you don't know what core CPI is, that's what that is. That's what does the consumer inflation rate look like today, consumer price index, and they're taking out food and energy, which is like gas and food, unfortunately. But producer price index actually is pretty important too. So I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this. We get this producer price index on Thursday. Producer price index is the manufacturer, like where we buy our goods and services from. This is their inflation rate. So if, let's say, a manufacturer is getting a high inflation rate, they're having lower margins. That would affect, let's say, expected earnings as we move forward into earnings season. And who are they going to pass this on to? So that would, if we see a high number here, but not a high number here, I mean, yeah, the back half of this week, I don't see a whole lot of optimism, but I think we can run the front half for sure. We also get initial jobless claims Thursday, and retail sales this on Friday. Retail sales will actually tell us a lot about what's going on for the actual consumer. So we'll have like this consumer price index Wednesday, and I think so. We have a 4% consensus and prior. So this number here, honestly, if with this funky non-farm payrolls, I'm looking, if we get something higher than 4%, then that's actually going to be, I think that's going to be pretty rough. So here's where we were. So we were coming down. And so this is that whole transient, is inflation going to go away or is it here to stay? That's the question, right? So we were tracking 1.6. The Fed's goal is 2. Then all of a sudden 3, 3.8, 4.5, 4.3. This is like, okay, well, it kind of looks like we're going down. This jump was totally unexpected, and we got a 4 this last time. So if we get higher than 4 on this next core CPI on Wednesday, I think that could spook a lot of people in the market. So definitely want to watch. And we have this FOMC minutes same day. It's going to be a tough one for sure. So I probably will not be in the market here. Probably a very light trading week. Luckily, we have earnings kicking off officially on Thursday, but we'll have our first earnings trade session, real first session on Wednesday. And hopefully we have some trades this time. So back to Friday. So we have retail sales Friday, not including autos. Import price index. This goes to like manufacturing, retail sales, consumer sentiment. This was a funky one. It got a little bit better last time, but anything over 70 is fine. I don't think we'll see anything lower than that. And I actually do look at this Baker Hughes rig count. So this is how many rigs are open and producing oil here in the U.S. So we have 433 right now. We'll get a new number on Friday. If that number goes up, then supply will go up. I think oil's had an amazing run. Probably my largest core position in actual accounts is OIH, but we had a big move. So I'm trimming, and I wouldn't be surprised if it just kind of stalls out for a little bit. So I think this is really what we're looking at. Consumer price index producer. This is, man, I keep hearing about all these boats stuck at, like, it was like 60 boats anchored in LA, not even able to dock yet. Just the supply issues. We'll see how that rolls through to retail sales. So I think that's going to be a big story. Anyways, let's get to just take a look really quick. So TLT, this is 10-year bond. I have a couple 20-year bond. Couple lines. Red is 200-day, yellow 150, blue is the 50-day moving average, and the gray is the 20. I think we're just going to be a little range bound here. Well, but this is the one. If the price of the bond itself goes down, that means that rates are actually going up. So the lower this is, It's not the greatest for tech. I'd like to see a little bounce, and it looks like it should. But we'll see. And then this is I got crude oil here. This is actually, these are 30-minute candles too. So these are crude oil futures. I think super important. So if oil's going up, I mean, look, we hit 82 bucks a barrel this morning, and it looks like it's a little tired. Well, let's take a look. We can get something going on here. How to use a channel. So I think this is important right now because this will be also a little gauge on inflation too. Yeah, so if I just use a channel, we're a little extended. So I'd expect that we come back in a little here. Although Devin and what have you, good morning, good open, but we'll see how it plays out. Wow, Bitcoin. 58 was like my number. That's what we were getting on. Look at that.
About Bitcoin, what do you think it's been?
Whoa, is that Jerome?
It is, man.
Yeah. Long time no see.
Long time no see. How are you?
Good, good. So here's where we broke down right around here. It was 56. This little 58,850 was in my head. Just as the last, what is this? 59.3.
So you think the last high in that consolidation is important?
Oh yeah, I really think this is super important. So I'm looking at this now. The thing for me, you know, I'm an altcoin guy, you know, at my core.
Me too.
So, you know, what I'm really gonna look like, yeah, I would like to see. Yeah, so let's say something like this plays out, and maybe even we get to here, right? With this prior highs. And I got two levels, 1, 2. And this second level here gives me a little pivot, definite pivot, and this is where we just broke up above. So I'm going to run with this 49,000 and change. I'm not going to be super exact.
Do you think there's a fundamental reason behind it or just technical at this point?
I think that the story is changing, to be honest. I think that we could blow through this, and if we do blow through this, and if you've missed this move,
do you think that China pulling out was actually good at the end for Bitcoin?
No, you know what I think. Do you follow gold at all? You may not.
Oh, so you think the safe haven play?
Yeah, I think that there is a lot of that happening.
I called that one a while ago.
Yeah, so here is this definite trend that we're breaking above here. I would have liked to gotten a little pullback, and I think if I'm looking at this chart, an ideal entry is still right around this 49,000 level on a pullback. If we can bounce there, if you're not in, this is good. We're not super over.
And so I guess gold for the moment has become the gold of crypto, as in it's the one thing instead of it being about the
yeah. I mean, gold. I just, you know, what happened to it, I don't know. But it's not. I think people are looking at gold and they're like, well, you know, what has it done for me lately? Kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of competition, there's Bitcoin, as we just mentioned. That's really
absolutely
the new hype. So the old gold and the new crypto BTC, I guess, at the moment.
Yeah, we could see. So I have this little initial. Oh, this is below. Here you go. Right here. So this could technically go either way, but I think it's gonna be a little while. Oh, here you go. Here's our. I mean, this is a decent breakout level, but you have to have the right time frame. This is going back to 2012. So this consolidating here, you know, to me for the rest of the year, and then some would not surprise me at all before it decides it could go either way. It could go down. If this was like a little cup and handle, I would not be surprised for this to come all the way down here. If it breaks this 16 and change, 1680.
Yeah, and you can go to where the last deep drop was.
Yeah.
Where there's also some accumulation.
Yeah, so that would be, for me, that's right around.
Man, they have so much money
Here.
just to do whatever they want.
I mean, yeah, this is just technicals, right? Like the fundamental story here is still, I think, evolving, right? And I think that people just didn't have the exposure to what could potentially be displacement or different technology, and they are just, hurrying up to get exposure here. So maybe a short push.
I also think that in terms of fundamentals, I think that crypto has finally been more accepted also by the mainstay players.
Oh, 100%.
So I think that brings a huge amount of demand as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in. This is S&P. I'm on a 30-minute chart here. This little green box is the average week, a move on an average week. I got, let's see, actually, I was playing with a couple. This is an average month. And I'm taking a 14 a day, or 14 unit average. So if this is average month, it's the average move of the last 14 months. Average week, the average move of the last 14 weeks. Week is here, so that was probably day.
Did you take any of copper? FCX.
Dude, I did.
Man, because on the next day after, like at the 34 mark on FCX, there's like it's a simple retest.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. So I feel like I'm still tinkering with these indicators. I'm probably better just to use an actual spreadsheet to get your averages. I don't know how much I trust that one, this indicator. Let me get my old square back there. So definitely I trust this one. So here I was looking on a 30, this little orange line where everybody really just kind of jumped in. Let me see, can I extend this left? Probably cannot. Yeah, and this is just slightly over what our 436 level was. So this 436 level is still going to be major play. So as long as we're over this 436, I don't really have a reason to be super bearish. As weird as that sounds, but it's not that far away. I don't have a reason to be bullish either, though. So that puts me in the neutral camp and continue doing what we've been doing, really. And that's just, iron condors, things like that, I think will continue to be the way to go. It's October. We have monthly expiration this week for options. So volatility is going to be elevated. People say September is bad, but I honestly feel like October could very well be worse. So let's say, as long as we're over this 435, 436 level on the downside, I'm staying neutral up to, and I have this, what is this, 445 level now, where really the sell-off began right around here. Let me just tag this guy. Where does that put us? Yeah, about 445. So this week's range, I'm looking somewhere between 436, 445 on the upside. And if we do come back down to tag the bottom of this little trend line, I right now I would probably see that as more of a buying opportunity short term. if it bounces. So if it bounces, I'm looking on a 1 hour time frame at minimum. Sorry, I got all these. And we're looking for, 3 full candles completely above the one candle that's bouncing. So at least half the day holding clear above whatever the support line was. If it's 436, that's fine. But absolutely no rush to get in here. I'm not jumping in right there. It could be a whole day. But as long as it would be on this one. So completely above 436. I'd like to see it hold that this week, and then I'd feel a little bit more comfortable. But anyways, this is my range on the S&P for this week. So maybe up to 445 high end, and we want it to hold 435. Steven, do you have a different level here? Maybe on the upside or downside?
For SPY?
Yeah.
I've got 436 to 441.
441.
I couldn't quite hear exactly what you were saying because it keeps cutting out for me. I don't know. I think I've had internet issues again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see the 44. I have a little line, 442.
You're
So
also cutting out for me, just in case.
I'm gonna restart my computer.
No, it's also for me though.
Oh, okay.
And,
It's cutting out for
you
you
don't
too.
cut out. It's just Jason. Jason, you cut out sometimes. Like at the end.
Okay.
Hey, if you guys have recommendations on new microphones, I'm all for it. This audio situation has been a pain in my butt. I got a Yeti Blue, so you guys know something that's better. Send it out. Send it on over. Shoot me a link. Whatever. But yeah, hopefully, is this still working? So yeah, I have the 442, which is 441 was last week's high, and also the initial breakdown on the middle of September, as well as late September. So I see that level too. 445 would be pretty bullish, and that would be bouncing up off of that 441 if we were to get there. That would be, man. Wednesday's just in our way. I don't. Wednesday's kind of sketchy to me. Just too much going on that could totally change the story and the sentiment. Qs, same kind of thing. I think my purple box is a weekly range, and so Qs on the downside, we actually 357. I don't know the number on if it was NASDAQ conversion. So 357 right here is where I'm looking at. Okay, buyers decided, hey, look, I'm buying this, and it pushed it completely up. Kind of came down. This is 358. Let's see if you could move this up. Yeah, 358. Came down, hit it, and bought it again. So I like that level as critical support. And we're up to resistance here, same thing. So 368 and change, almost 369. Tell me, says move it. Move my gain up. Okay. Well, it's recording, so hopefully we can fix any audio issues. That is what I'm looking at on the Qs. So not an uptrend by any means on the Qs either. Let's see. Yeah, this is somewhat similar. I don't. Might be a little stretch. Yeah, I can't get bullish on tech just yet. There are some pieces in tech that look like they're breaking out, but as a whole, not quite there for me. Get back to 30-minute candles. Cool. So industrial industrials look better than the rest to me. And this is completely over the downtrend. Got our little fake out already. Little gappy, but here's where I'm seeing that they jumped in. So right around this 345 level. Somebody let me know if the audio is any better at all.
Okay.
Still breaking up?
Not like last 10 seconds.
Might just be connection.
I think it was connection, but yeah, already in the 10 seconds you could notice a difference. It shows
Right,
that.
yeah, 100%.
Okay. Shit. We'll take donations for microphones.
But I'm sure like the Apple headphones, I'm sure those work. Like it's gotta be, they don't have to be too sophisticated, I feel.
We'll see. Yeah. So, anyways, so industrials, I'm looking here, was 345 downside, 350 upside. And this looks like it could reverse course and go a little bit higher from here. IWM. So IWM, I'm looking. So these are all these moving averages, and we have these iron condors on IWM, but man, they're all getting super tight, and these are locked on the daily. So above the 50, this is the 150. Above the 200, this guy will ride this iron condors. I don't know if I want to put another one on just yet because it looks like, you know what? I'm gonna we can't stay the course. When this starts to break, we'll know. But for now, this is the kind of range I'm looking at. Somewhere here, 220 on the downside, and if it does happen to break above, call it 230, that's the only point I would really consider doing a different trade. Let me see this. Here's our condors. Yeah, our condors will pay us for a while, so that's not that far. So we'll get paid all the way up here, so that's fine. No need to change anything there. Second chart. Ooh, I thought this was gonna look a little bit better having the open that we did. But so left to right, top to bottom, retail, semiconductors, oil services, healthcare, energy, financials. This is the commodity index, and then tech sector. So retail had a little bounce this morning, but I think this 200-day is holding it up. I'm going to put this 87, maybe a little higher. I don't want to see this guy hold below or go below this guy. Not below that. Semis was kind of similar. So semis, I saw this little push down 1, 2, 3, 4 times recently. So I mean, as long as these guys can stay above these levels, I am okay holding. Not going to be super bullish just yet, but I could see around 272 on the semis. I would be trimming just from a trading range perspective until we can push above that. But little squeezy there. Oil services. This was good. This little tag 165, man. Us Jerome all day. Please move. I had something just pop up right now. Anyways.
Also for, huh?
What's that?
It's working well so far.
Yeah. No, this is I'm at my first profit target. But I mean, I took a little off. Really not a lot. Not a lot at all.
I mean, oil prices are still like expected to be above $65 for like a couple of years.
Oh yeah. I mean, what 82 today. I think if we get to $100 a barrel, I'll probably trim a little bit more.
But I actually figured out way too late why that was, but it's actually pretty obvious once you think about it, which is that the energy transition is going to be huge. Capital is very capital intensive. It's going to be like $7 trillion.
Yep.
So, what kind of companies would want to shift their spending from their current market into that? And so that oil companies is a very, very likely response to that. That many oil companies are now focusing investments onto green projects instead. Also from like a perspective of like the outside look of the company and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
And also, it's just because they see that's where the future is, and they have to start changing now. So we're at that kind of awkward moment where
we are.
It happens with other products where they're about to die out, but they're still completely a necessity for the moment. But it's a very interesting question is how you regulate the supply and demand for such a situation.
Yeah, I think, who was it? Exxon started a initiative and for clean energy initiative, right? And had upped the amount of money that they were going to dedicate to the project, and JP Morgan like immediately downgraded them. And you're like, well, to your point, you know, the transition is going to take a really long time. But if the companies are trying, and while they're trying, you know, everyone's like, well, I don't want your business anymore, or I don't think you're a good business. Like, what does that say? So, it's going to be a long time.
Some people like overvalue or undervalue thinking ahead and adapting and being able to adapt. And some people rightfully probably view it as a risk, probably because you're making an investment in something you don't have, and you're taking away money from things that you know work. So I guess there's also a risk factor in there, which agrees with a downsizing. But then there's also just thinking about in 10 years will they be able to survive like this?
Yeah.
And, so that's
you have to have that much longer view, for sure.
Exactly.
So I think just these inside these mini sectors here for me, I'm just looking across the board for sure. You know, oils, it's energy. Most bullish, no question. Financials would be second in line, aside from, let's say, commodities. But so commodities would be into your FCX, to your point, NUE, Nucor for steel. We have this end of the month infrastructure deal that will likely push that sector a little bit higher. Financials, I'm a little wary of right now, just because they're going to be first at bat when it comes to earnings, and they're coming in a little hot. So I could see financials having a great first half of the week, but then turning that whole gain right back in as they start reporting. Retail.
Financial is an inflation trade, right?
So financials is here's where it gets weird. So when they have earnings, they're going to report the last quarter, which doesn't include this higher rate run that we're having. So that won't be in there. But at the same time, that's not what's going to move a stock either. What will move the stock is the outlook moving forward, right? So even if they beat expectations, that doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter at all. It's going to be all about their forecast. So depending on what those look like and what they have to say about, you know, how higher rates will be affecting their business and for what period of time, that's going to be what will or will not move the stock. I think what was it? BlackRock's probably BlackRock, Morgan Stanley. You can look into a couple. Are probably some of the stronger ones across the board. Actually, the stronger ones would be anyone really that has, I would almost say, trading revenue too. So BLK. Yeah, BlackRock is just. Sorry, we're testing a potential trade system here for you guys. So you'll see these funny borders. But yeah, so daily. Now that I look at this, the daily is pretty good right off this 200. That's a big break. So this one is not like JP Morgan that's coming in super hot. This is viable to me. We're way above here. Wow. I'm kind of happy I'm looking at this right now. Yeah, this looks like a nice clean break on BlackRock today, pushing. So just careful. We got earnings coming. So if it comes in hot, well, it could pull back to that 840 level again, which would still be fine. And that's as long as it holds that. If you're investing, not trading, if you're investing and not options, then you'll be fine. JP Morgan was another one. This one, yeah, so this is a totally different chart. We're way hot on JP Morgan. I don't want to be buying this here. Coming into earnings. This is a setup just to fall straight back to this 160. Potentially. We'll see. Earnings, technical analysis kind of goes out the window on earnings. Not kind of, it absolutely goes out the window. It's all about historical moves, technical analysis, whole, efficient market theory, whatever you want to call it, is about the price reflecting the fundamental story, sentiment, etc. in the price, but on the actual earnings event, that's when all that stuff will change. So if the fundamental story changes, it's going to supersede any technicals that you're looking at. So don't mess with technicals through earnings or trust them. Just my 2 cents. I got out of the corner of my eye. I'm looking at a firm kind of wanting to break again. Look at this all-time high firm. This goes in the watch list. So I'm just to give you guys a quick preview on this system. This is a standard deviation channel. So 2 standard deviations for options. So when an asset is inside this green band, that's go for calls, because this will tell you that IV is actually expanding and you'll have exponential returns. If it's in between, right here, you do not want to be in options. You want to be a net seller of options. On the red side, that would be puts. For right now, that's all I can give you. We have some moving averages that are kind of coded to give you an extra little shading area. So when it's double shaded like that, that's good, right? If it breaks down below here, you want to be out right there. That's how that system is going to work for you for an indicator system. But just quick and dirty, yeah, this guy looks like it. So we were looking at selling calls, at least Ryan was asking about it earlier, and earlier this was looking like it was going to be in between these bands. So if it stayed in between these bands, that is exactly where you want to be selling covered calls. But right now it looks like it's going to try and re-enter. It is not there yet, hasn't closed, so not quite. Yeah, not quite. but very close. If I'm selling cover calls here, I will, let's take a look at the chain. Right now, just technically, if this is above 140, I'd still take a bullish view. I don't want to be, it's not an active breakout here. You want to have something like this where you're in it. This is what we hit last week. This is what good looks like. This is not this, to be clear. So this is not buy calls, hurry up and run. No, this is that. We don't have that here. So right now I'm looking at 6,000 volume on the 145 call for this Friday. What's that trading for? Ooh, that's trading for $500. 145. That's a very nice premium. You could sell that. I'm also looking at the 150. So if you're selling the 145, 150 credit spread, what are you getting? $1.85 for this week. That's not enough juice to me to sell that. They may be buying that. But for you guys, wait till it's in a more of an uptrend. So wait till it's above this 143 level before you jump in and do anything super bullish. 143, yeah, call it 145.
Can you please look at the alphabet when you have some time?
Yeah, I'll take a look now. So Google, I like, it's investment territory for me. So this, yeah, daily. Oh, man, we're just getting a ton of these setups here. So same kind of setup.
Exactly.
So break, we're clear above here and here. So here's my second level. I'm just gonna duplicate this. They're right here. So this is a clean break that you want to see. So I mean, for now, at least to 2,900 for sure. 2890. 2890 is where the sellers really stepped in before, and it couldn't get above that. So for now, I'm here. Maybe trim a little bit. 2890. What is this return from here to here? So you're there 2.5%. If it breaks this, that's good. I think if it breaks that, that's fine. But you'd want to be able to enter on a retest for me. Right here. So I'm still long, be long. Just have this 2,900, 2,890 level in the back of your mind for sure. You zoom in on some shorter time frames. Here's a 4-hour. This is nice. This is a nice cross right here. 20-50 day. If you're a moving average guy. We are in the channel for the system going higher. So these purple lines are weekly. So 2870 this week. I could be looking at a 2,900 calendar. It's going to be a little pricey. But I like that level on all fronts. I mean, a prime entry would have been last week, but that was a quick gap. So this is your best second opportunity for sure. 15-minute. I stick with 30. Yeah, this still looks good. Where go? Where go? I had a couple others I do want to take a look at. So Tesla started pushing. This 800 level is tough for these guys. But as long as we're above here, 780, slow trudge higher, I think. Here, you could still sell upside calls all the way up to, what is that? 80. I'd probably sell it 850. This might be not in a rush to do anything. If you're selling puts, you want to kind of hug this downtrend, this uptrend line here. So selling puts would be more along the 750 level to me. 1 hour. 1 hour looks good. Yeah, it's been tight. This consolidation is getting pretty tight. Before I go super long, actually, Steven watches this more than anybody else, I think.
Man, I should have gotten this. I can't believe I slept on that. I had some great doubles as well, but I completely slept on it.
Yeah, it happens, man. Yeah, this 800 level, I mean, it's got to break. It's got to break above 800. Otherwise, like, how many times can it test? It looks like it's going to break, but I don't need to be in it now. I don't need to be in it until I get an open and a close above 800 clean. This is just, if you're buying up here, I mean, your support is down at 760. So you're trying to push for a break. It's more risky to be buying here now for a push up, because the quick fall down would actually absolutely take you straight down here to around 760. So buying here now is not what you want to do from a risk perspective. You absolutely want to wait till it breaks.
Yeah, at this level, I'm really not interested in taking Tesla at all until it really breaks above the 800 and even comes back down to Tesla.
Right, that's right. So a full open and a full close.
Above 800 or back down to 760.
Yeah.
Is the only two things I'm looking at playing on Tesla, just because, it's still an uptrend, but if you look at, down on the smaller time frames, it will whipsaw you out so fast, you're going to have big swings on those contracts.
Yeah, I think, for me, I was a seller of this 800 level on a call credit spread for, I don't know, I mean, these two, this is last week, right? I don't really want to try my luck again. But, so typically in my mind, the more times that level gets tested, the weaker that level is. But just the same, it does not mean that it's going to break. So they're picking it up around 780 right now. Anybody that picked it up at 780, if 800 fails again and then it breaks below 780, don't think for a second that this guy isn't going to immediately go straight down to 760 and then all the way down to 720 one more time. They're just buying it here around this 780, hoping for a push, and if it doesn't make it, they're out. So quick money, but that's your risk. Just know that that's what it is. So I'd be happy to be a put seller around 750. You can get enough premium there. I don't know that I want to. Yeah, I'm very much with you. This is a no touch until you have a clean break completely through, a full open and a full close above 800.
Yeah, and ideally, I'm looking more at like 805.
Yeah, to be clear. Speaking of, let's get to an interesting one. So I know. So I got all this stuff on these charts. Get out of here. Too much. Let's give me something raw. Okay. So 325 was our level that we were looking at. Get down to a 1 hour. Still is. This is the first push and hold above 325, but we're not. It pushed down once, pushed down twice, and they bought it. So honestly, I'm still in the camp, like, I want to see this clear before I'm
Well, like 328.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, 328.80. Because I'm just not seeing. Let me add volume here. I'm just not seeing the kind of buyers that I would want to see. And this is it is the second break, and it does look good. God, that stupid thing is cracks me up.
To your volume point, I mean, if you look at the opening volume for like the first like 15, 30 minutes, it's like half of what the opening volume was all last week.
So that's.
I mean, it's nothing.
Let me see, we got 690K. Yeah. So there's not a ton of sellers. That's what we can say, right? Which is good. But doesn't mean that it's going to go higher. We need buyers. We need active new buyers, and they're probably waiting for that same level or something similar. This is the first break of this larger downtrend. If you were to draw it this way, which is the way I am going to draw it, I know that probably a lot of people will likely draw, I don't know, something like that, maybe a little channel.
I think the point too, no matter how you draw that downtrend, it's roughly in the same area, regardless of how you draw it.
Yeah. So this is the level that we definitely wanted to see it hold. And this is typically, let's see. This is good. I'm not in a rush to buy it. Let's see. Yeah. So the only way for me to get like definitely not hit by what could be a pretty epic fake out. This very well could be an epic fake out and just break straight back down to 300 plus before bouncing again, or even 270, which, you know, that would look something like this before this little section, holding, and then pushed all the way down to 270. Is a new high. So we just don't have it. Once we get a new high, and again, I'll look at this 280 or 328-ish level. I mean, if you want to be super ultra cautious, you could go higher. I mean, the upside on this, a couple bucks, between 320 and 328, let's say $10. Your upside is significant. So to hold out for $10 to be absolutely sure for potential 45% upside, I think is not a big deal. So let's just give it a little bit longer and keep this level in mind for right now. That is where I am.
If you had a put on the SPY at 440, would you, and it was to expire on the 15th of October.
Oh, you still have that?
I still have that.
Oh, shit. So you have time value, right? So every day that you go through, you have time value, and every day that passes, you lose time value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this October 15th,
no time value.
There's 4 days of time value, right? It's not a lot. It's $400.
And the limit's 440, so that's pretty fucking close. But I think we can have a little bit more of a. I think we're coming down to your 436 level.
Yeah, I think the levels matter, right? So hold on to it, and as we set your own alerts, right? So if it starts to bounce off here, that's fine. I would sell it. And then if it breaks down below, I would look towards November to buy something. And again, VIX volatility index is very low here at 18. So it's not a horrible time to be buying protection.
I was thinking about otherwise buying some now.
Yeah. So you don't want to double down. So if you were to pay extra for it now, because the thing is, you're going to need to buy more time. So you might be knowing your.
Trigger the one that I have and just get the stocks, get the SPY, and then hedge a little bit more.
No, so since you own a put, that gives you the option to sell SPY at 440. It's different. When you own puts, you're going to be shorting it. If that option expires in the money, you will be short 100 shares of SPY at 440 each.
I think it's the other way around. Isn't it one that I'm going to buy them?
So you'll no.
What the rate is, and that he uses. I think I did the opposite. No.
No.
The buyer.
No. So it is the opposite for calls, but not for puts. So for puts, when you sell a put, you're making an agreement to buy. But when you buy a put, you're making an agreement to sell, and therefore you will be short 100 shares.
But didn't I sell a put?
No, you bought it. Well, you know what? You should.
It'll give you the right to sell them, but your broker will borrow those shares from someone else at whatever the current market value is, so that you can sell them at a higher price if it gets executed and SPY expires at like 439. So we'll borrow shares from someone at 439, and you'll have those shares to sell them at 439.
Okay.
And I mean, if SPY goes down, that's good for you, right? But for right now, that doesn't have a lot of time value in it. If you were to double down on protection, so that will protect you more, believe it or not, than even though it's only $300, but that short dated option will protect you just as much as a December put option. So like a December, and I'm looking at the chain, I see a good amount of volume on December 435 puts. Those are trading about $1,100 right now, $1,140. And they have about a 45 delta, give or take. Now, in comparison, right, your October 15th 440 put is trading significant, so it was $1,140 over there, and it's $325 for that October put. That October put has a delta hedge, or it'll move. The delta is 54, so 10 points higher. Really, 10 points more protection than the December put that's trading for almost 3 times as much. Does that make sense? So it's cheaper protection, yeah. It would have been better to sell it before, but do you want to double down on something that's 3 times more expensive for equal or less of a protective position? That's the question. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you do get the dump down, well, that thing's going to pay you out. Wait for the bounce. So if you do get the dump now, go ahead, sell that, wait for the bounce, and then buy the December stuff, the December protection, probably around that 435 level. So you want to go a little bit farther out. Moving forward, try not to hold options more than I'd say 2 to 3 weeks to expiration is when you absolutely want to start cutting them, if they're investment type options or hedge positions.
Good to know that one next time. I'll put another.
Yeah.
Bypass me this time.
That's all right. You'll be all right. So where were we? I think Upstart. Yeah, so Upstart, I am still liking this chart today. So Upstart, this is my our little system. This is entering the buy zone. We got across before. Cool. This is looking good. And let me just take the shenanigans off for a second. I like it cleaner. So we got the downtrend. We got a break, right? We're clear above what? We're clear above prior resistance, now acting as support right here. And this is 308. I think Ryan was talking. I'm positive Ryan has a 320 call for this week. But what I did want to show you, so 330 would very likely be our next stop, and it looks like we're well on our way. But let me go take a quick look at the chain. So upstart. So when I'm doing options like this, it's Monday. We're just going to plan our trade for this week. I'm not really going to try and look any farther out. So this week, I got almost a 330 target. If I look at the chain, I can see immediately, okay, so 320 would be an ideal option. It's at 46 delta right now. That's a $900 option, but look at that. 2100 volume today on Upstart, 320 call for this Friday, and $1,100 open interest. That's a really good volume, really good open interest. I can look at, wow, even 325 calls, $700, but 4,000 open interest on 1,400 volume. So that's this little between 325 and 330 is where the volume is. Looks like there's a couple autos way out in the 375, 380 range. I don't know why they would be looking at that. Maybe because it's Monday. They might be able to get a lucky break. But for this week, so these are very expensive options. So I don't want to be buying these outright. Personally, if I just look at a quick, okay, 320, let's go 320 to 330 debit spread, just like this, targeting the top half of this range. That is a $10 wide spread, trading for about $385. Ooh, that's a toughie. That's still expensive. What else can we do? When is earnings? It's a good trade. It's just a little expensive. Let me see if I can find anything better. November 9th is earnings here. And what can we look at? Not a lot of volume on the 5th. Wow. I see big open interest on November monthly contracts for 390. Maybe that's what they're playing with. Why are they at this 385? Sorry, I got something in my throat. 390. 390. Let me see if I can do some kind of time spread. 25 delta, 34 theta. I need a smaller delta, higher theta. 12. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. I don't know that I can see a time spread there. So, I mean, maybe that debit spread is the right one. Maybe just a 350 call, a 330 call. QS, yeah. But that would be my first stop. 330. Jeez. Steven, you see something a little bit better on this one?
I'm looking at this week's chain right now.
Yeah, it's busy. It's very busy.
It's definitely busy. I mean, it looks like they have that 320, 330 spread, but just based on the OI and the volume, it looks like that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Maybe.
Just a little less than the 3-to-1 risk reward.
Yeah. You know, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's quite expensive. 325. This may be one of those teachable situations. So if I were to throw up a model on a 320, 325, 330 butterfly, so buying one 320, selling two 325s, buying one 330, that butterfly, I might be able to get for like less than $100. It's pretty widespread, but something like this you absolutely have to hold. And the sweet spot here would be anywhere between 320 and 330, right? Which would be what? So 320 and 330, if I bring this range, same range, right? If it happens to land at 325, quite likely, right here on Friday though, and again, it has to be towards the end of the week because this is the theta play. Today is the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. So what is this going to be? This does not look right. But it would be a Friday and a day, like $400. Is this right? 1014, 1015. Yeah, this would be anywhere between 100 and $400. So you have to pay under $100. It'd be a tough one. You don't need to put this on right now. If you can get it cheap, though, I like that. Otherwise, I don't see any volume on the put side. So maybe these calls 375. We can look at it later. I'd move on, but that would be my target, somewhere around the high 320s. Maybe you just buy a 325, 330 debit spread. So that looks more reasonable. Short term. 325, 330 debit spread. How are you going to offset theta here? That theta is going to crush you. $325. Yeah. 325, 330 debit spread for this week. I am actually pretty comfortable there. $170. Oh, gosh. It's just okay. Let's find something else. But it looks good. Maybe a day trader. If you see the break, just outrights, that may very well likely be the best way to trade that one. Okay. I had Devon. We were on, looking at a 1 hour. So we have $40 is going to act as low resistance here. That's fine. I want to see this guy push a little bit higher before I open anything, but I could do a debit spread or a time spread here. I'd be looking more diagonal. So 42. God, I hate that it does that. 42 upside for the week. Look at that. A lot of 41s. If I look at the chain. We got 11,000 calls already today. All around, ooh, they're going pretty far. January. Really? I see a lot of January 40, 50 debit spreads. That may not be bad. That you could hold for quite a while. Buying the 40, selling the 50. Wow. We'll see. Gotta play with these. Earnings on the 2nd. Yeah, I would still say some kind of short-term time spread, buying a later dated 40, selling like a 42 call against it. A little diagonal. Looks good to me. Otherwise, yeah, don't need to jump on it just yet. I think the rest of the oil sector is looking the same. Nice push this morning, but gotta wait and see. Oil's way up there, so I would not be surprised to see oil kind of pull back and take a little breather. Bank of America, we had another one. So these guys have earnings. Actually, they're one of the first up. So they have earnings on the 14th. So I think this week's contract, the October 15th, will be increasing as we get closer to the 14th. So this guy buying, I hate to say it, look at this. You're pushing this 45 level. If you break, at least here I have a cleaner. Looks to me like a little cleaner trend line. You don't need this anymore. Don't need you. Don't need you. We know you broke. Yeah, this is like nice little consolidation. The thing with buying options on this week is that you have volatility on your side. So if we break this, I would just honestly, I would be buying outrights right now. You can spread off. I don't know that that's going to be a big thing. Let's see, what's our upside for this week? Let's see. What is that? 46, so call it 45. No, 40. Yeah, it's tight. I just be going outrights actually. 46.50. 47. That's where the volume is. So 45. Yeah, I would just be buying outrights right now. Maybe you could buy something in November. I don't see a reason to spread this off. You're not going to get a whole lot of protection at all. Yeah. Probably just outrights for me. So $45 calls, just 1 or 2 days. I mean, I'd be opening this maybe at close today, like at the close, and then selling sometime tomorrow. That's it. If I get this break. Otherwise, if I don't get the break and close clean above this today, I'm just gonna sit on my hands and pull it back up. Take a look tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, this pushes up. I want to wait for the second hour to continue, and then I would be free and clear. But earnings coming up, first on deck, high beta here. I think probabilities are good. You have a little protection to give you a little edge in terms of volatility on some quick calls. Macy's, JP Morgan. Oh, QS, I was getting crazy alerts this morning. Hate to look at this guy. It was intriguing, but I think I'm going to pass. Just want to put it on your radar. So we have this downtrend broke, holding above this level here. Oh, you really can't see that. Sorry, guys. Above this level here, but I need this guy. If you're thinking about it, I need this guy to clear. So this is like a Roku kind of situation. Looks really good. Give it a minute, because that could be a fake out also. So wait for a new high. no need to rush over 24 if you're not already in it.
What do you think about the semiconductors? Actually, I heard what you said before about the semiconductors, but what do you think about NVIDIA in particular?
Yeah.
There's a particular.
Yeah, so that was on the list, absolutely. So similar. I think I want to see. So where am I here? So I think really so NVIDIA, I have to. So just to get this out of the way, I'm torn on semis as a whole, and I mean really torn because the supply chain situation. Can you guys hear me? I'm messing with this connection. It could be a really big deal. So yeah, they're doing good. I mean, you got NVIDIA, you have AMD, Micron, Taiwan Semi. There's a lot of different options that you have. Technically, yeah, as long as you're above this kind of like initial supply zone here, where the sellers were selling prior, this is about just over 200. I got something in my throat. Which reminds me of that OIH, manipulation push down to get an entry. It looks like that's what we got here, which would have been great if you didn't own it to snag it. And all I can say, as long as we're over this I would just call it, just to give it a little 205. As long as we're over 205, I mean, this goes in the rest of the semi space where, yeah, you look good. If your cost is below that, no reason to sell it. I'm just so weary with all the supply chain issues. It's going to be priced in, right? So, for now, as long as we're pushing higher, let's draw some lines, right? So we know, okay, the downtrend broke. So we want to kind of see where are we going next. So you have this. It's not super clean. You got a lot of manipulation happening here. I mean, this is a tough call, right? You just need to see it create a new high, right? So if you can get, I'm just going to turn on extended hours. So here's yesterday's close, right around that 208 level.
Okay.
I'm just going to, and you got to go kind of day to day. So here's Friday open, right? Friday open is 211. And this level, I can trace back. We're getting real kind of nitty gritty. It's a little gappy level. If you really start to look at it, 213. Yeah, 213. If you're breaking above that, you're making new highs. I mean, it's only a couple dollars, but that is where the last group of sellers really were. So if those sellers have been exhausted and it can close above that, then this looks all right. It really should, if there's a little gap to the upside. Wow. Real tiny gap. So, I mean, for a trade, I can take this up here. Shoot. For a trade, you could take this all the way up here. Maybe. I mean, it doesn't look bad by any means. As long as it stays over here, I just have, I would have to have a longer time horizon on this because the ride could be kind of choppy. That's all I'm thinking. A lot of headwinds. But yeah, as long as it's over 204, 205, I would be happy owning it. So maybe buy on some dips and have a tighter stop loss. I don't have an amazing read on this one. I think, Steven, do you have some levels on NVIDIA?
Let me put it up. Sorry, I was watching Boeing.
Yeah, Boeing. So that's next chart. It's then in the chart.
Actually breaking out right now.
Yep.
I am still watching that 206.50 level.
Yeah.
And then 218.50 I see is at the next big one.
206. Okay, so 206 is there. And then you got 218.50. That's a little higher. Yeah, you're right there. Cool. Yeah. So he's 206. I was giving a little cushion 205. That would be good if you can get where were we? A close above above 213. You'd be happy for a short-term push.
100%.
So 213.
I haven't looked at this at all today yet, so.
Yeah. So here's the kind of double top 213. Add your alert. We're looking. We have this zone, right? If we get a bounce, I need to see it clear, and I need to see it come back down, and I want to see at least 3 clean candles above this 213 line. That's for me. So, and I say clean like the whole body above the line, not like on the line or one above, one below, one above, one below, like 3 completely clean above. Cool. So let's do. We know this guy is moving. So here we are. Here's Boeing. This is the one Jerome refuses to buy. We have been watching this level for.
European, I gotta go for Airbus. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, you know. That's right. Hey man, our natural gas is way cheaper than yours. I feel bad for you. I don't know what's going on with it.
Well, I got a Tesla today, so I don't care.
There you go.
They can hack it.
Yeah. So this active breakout here, when this guy moves, it moves. I think we can take this. You can take this probably live if this is moving. Let me get drill in. Yeah, you unfortunately are at your average range. So for the day, most likely this move is probably over. But where will it pull back? It will pull back. I get this 230 level.
Yep.
Tap it right there. If you can get a bounce today. Let's look at this chain. So day trades, shortest time to expiration, October 15th, expiration week. Look at that, 13,000 volume on that 230 call. They're not going higher, so they're not ready to be pushing this thing any further right now. That bad boy traded around 250 would be an ideal catch. If it pushes higher. Otherwise, if you're in a day trade, you want to be trimming this right now. Right now. Be out, be done. So that would be first start. So if you're not in it, so let's say, okay, what are my next targets? So this blue line is 235. That is a resistance level that I had. Wow. I hate how that thing is. Why is it doing that? Let me sync this. It says it synced. Oh, there it is. Hourly chart, 235. Yeah, 230. That'd be your next target. So that 235 contract would be the one on the next push that I would be looking at. It is quite liquid. 8,000 open interest, 6,100 volume, heavy duty, right there. That'd be a nice run too. So I would be looking for. You want to walk through this, actually, Steven? Are you in Zoom?
Sure. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm looking today, like you said, like the low love tap right on 230.
230 takes us to, this is September 29th, just the tip of that little box. Otherwise, you got this kind of zone 229.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to play it longer term, I could see 240 as being like the next
Target.
Yeah, 100%. 240 would be super easy to get to, especially if we get follow through for this. But just as a day trade, real quick, love tap right off of 230.
Yeah.
If that fails, I can see just from today and like the Thursday, Friday peaks up at like 229.
Yeah.
That would be my absolute stop loss if 230 failed.
Or if we get a higher high, right? So higher high right now would be 231.
Yeah.
231. I mean, and this would be typical of Boeing to do this while you're waiting for a push. It could do it, but don't rush. It's Monday. We got earnings coming up. We got all kinds of stuff. It could be a good one.
Yeah, and Boeing doesn't usually just blast through ADR.
Man, who was it? Chris? I think it's Chris. I mean, sometimes. I mean, it has happened.
It kind of has the volume to go.
Look at this volume, right? So okay, so that's my alert. I mean, 235 would be the one. So that's $160. Yeah, this volume is happening now.
Yeah,
This is live.
As an intraday thing, if it goes all the way back to 229, it just gave up everything that it did today, so I wouldn't even be interested in doing anything with it at 229.
Yeah. So you're here for a breakout. If you cross this 232, that'd be great. 235 is the contract that you'd want to play with right now. Super liquid that I would want to play with, but that thing is moving quickly. Yeah, just broke 190. We're looking at 160 before. Yeah, that's volume.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on the left. I have this volume profile, so you may not see it. Let me see if I can move. So yellow sellers, blue buyers, and I mean when you look in and you see this where the yellow just completely disappears. That's kind of like, well, you know, it's just gonna keep pushing higher until you see a little yellow bar pop up. We know, hey, look, at this 232-ish level, you're kind of pushing it. But that's an active breakout, no question. No question. Look at that. Where are the sellers? We've got level 2 here. Charts. Yeah, orders coming in 300 at a time. 867 order coming in. I got one sell order. Not much. 1,000 just bought. Yeah. There you go. System. Cool. Anyways, want to move on, gentlemen? Well, you guys can trade. It's trade time.
I was looking at Fastly.
Oh, yeah.
which is another one. I think actually, shit, now that I just pulled it up, you can actually even hit that for a quick scalp like right now.
Just a
If
buck.
we just have like a little double bottom intraday
Yeah.
at 41.50.
I like that setup.
That might be pretty high risk. The volume kind of has gone off a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. It's how fast can you be, right? Yeah, you're a little bit high on the bar. We'll pull back. Would be good. This guy just nasty. Okay, so you're in the what is Tommy calls this the greed zone on our indicator. Say okay. Just want to tap. Yeah, as long as look. So even on super, this is 1 minute. They'll say, "Oh, don't trade 1 minute." I'm sorry, I trade the shit out of 1 minute. But so higher high, lower high, right? Higher high. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Looking for a higher high, and I'll probably be out. But there you have it. Option IV is very, very high, so you have to get this push. Otherwise, you want to just kind of be out until you can get a better entry. Look at this. 9,000 volume just showed up out of nowhere on that 240 call. What just happened? Did I miss that? 13,500 open interest. Is that the one you were looking at?
Yeah.
9,000 volume on 240. Well, 233. Oh, here we go. So maybe we get a nice little lunch money. Lunch money. For sure. Yay. I think this would probably be one that we could swing. Depending on how this closes. We'll see. This was this break on the hourly. A big downtrend break. So if you were to swing this, where are you going? You are going to 240. Look at that. You're going right here to 245. Really? Is that a little greedy? Let's call it 240. So if you want to swing it and you're in the 235s, I would probably sell that 240 before the end of this little push. I hate doing this. Now I have to keep this in the corner of my eye, so I'm just going to put this chart off to the side. Somebody yell at me if something happens. So Netflix. Let's get all this shenanigans off the chart. Netflix. This looks like more consolidation, but very, very good. I'm looking. We'll put an alert. 640 needs to be clear above, full open above, full close above, for me to start looking at this. Otherwise, I would actually be more inclined to sell some covered calls on this guy, just because it isn't an uptrend, but you're very far away from the trend line. As long as it would have to break below 630, actually, for me to do that. So below 630, I'm feeling like this 615 level is likely next stop. So I'll set an alert there, and then I got an alert above 640. In this drop zone, I'm just kind of no touch. But setting up the alerts. I had CRM, something I was looking at. Just good pre-announcement. I think this would be one to buck the trend of tech if it does have it, but we need to be clear above. Right there. 280. Full open, full close above 280. Set it. And forget it. Otherwise, I'm going to skip. I like the materials play. That was probably the strongest chart that I can find. Freeport goes into copper, which fits. We had that nasty sell-off not that long ago. And we are right back on track, having broken this very big downtrend. Yeah, 6% up today, probably double that over the last 2 days. Yeah, 15% in the last 2 days. This can take a little bit of a breather. So don't need to rush. I got 2 levels. 34 would be ideal. Yeah. I don't want to see it much below that, actually. 34.50. Otherwise, for a real strong 35. Set that. Cool. Or above. And above would be above 37. Jeez. This might need to chill for a little bit. Oh, that one's hot. I had my retail guys. I thought I saw a nice little opening on some of those. You guys are still watching for Boeing for me, right? Somebody yell, something happens. So broken. Looks good, but I need this over 456. Otherwise, if I see a rejection here, then I would probably sell some credit spreads. I think I'm good on most of the charts right now, unless somebody had something that they really wanted to take a look at. And then I'm just going to keep scrolling through these personally today. This is one that was on watch for trade time. So retail sales Friday. Retail's been beaten up pretty bad. 225 on target. Finally got way down there. Poor guy. Needs to hold. But if we can get above this. Yeah. 233. That would be something similar, looking like this. And off. But, I mean, that's wishful thinking. We'll see. Just keeping it in the list. 4. Still chugging along. This one looks good. Ford. So this was, if we rewind a few weeks ago and we look, okay, so Ford, entry. Right along this trend line here, we got this break. There. And, he's selling. Does that mean I need to sell?
No, that was me.
Yeah, so that, look at that. Boeing did not break that top range. right? Here. This is why I'm options super sensitive to price. So if you can't day trade and you're not watching it, day trading options, you can't really walk away from me. Cannot. Still clean up trend. So we're looking at 230 at alert and maybe 228. So 2 alerts set, forget, and we're on our way. Ford looks good. Ford looks good this week. Above 15. Can't believe this bad boy is 15.25 already. So couple weeks we took this. Look at that. What is that? 22%. It doesn't feel like 22%, but it is. In less than a month. So as long as we're holding over 1475, to me this is still continuing higher. I like it. And our next, man, if we get to 16, I don't think we're gonna. I think we hit 1650 and definitely get some resistance. But 1550 first level, that's the one to watch right now. If you get a breakout over that, that could be a big one. We'll see. It's moved quite a bit in a very short period of time, so it doesn't need to get completely crazy. Activision had high hopes here, man. I was liking this. I was liking it a lot. No, I'm not super sold on it, but I'm not, not giving up. So here's our level 76-ish and change. So we got buyers jumping in here. Yeah, 76. Here, once, twice, 3, 4, 5. Really 5 times. So it needs to bounce. Excuse me. So, yeah, as long as we're over this level, I'm happy. But we're close. Very, very close. I'd rather see this happen. This might need to be some more consolidation until earnings actually gets here. It's the beginning of the month. I'm just gonna quick follow up. Stitch Fix. I had an alert. This is not bouncing. This no good. This is a fake out. Stay away. Stay away. Stitch Fix no good. Let me check on some. Oops. Travel. Boeing's doing good. How are the cruise lines? Cruise lines, ooh, interesting. Somewhat. Little consolidation there. Ooh. Above our level. Not ready yet. Not ready yet. Needs to be above 25. All right. American. High beta. Not ready yet. Well, geez. Boeing's going. What's the other? GE. What's this stupid stock has done a whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing. can't get excited here. Sorry. I had Sonos. This one, yeah, this one not looking great at all. I would not be in this. This was the last entry. 1, 2, 3 tags, but yeah, you don't want to be around this guy. If it below 30 looks sketchy. Man. Oh, today, Monday, we had how did the what was it? Box office sales too? Oh, it was bad, right? Nothing right on that. AMC. Nothing. Why? See, like, what is this? This is dumb. Why would GameStop be going up here? 186. I want an alert here. I don't have to trade that. And some of the guys were talking about Penn, so taking a look, more consolidation, not ready for a trade. No. Maybe soon. Not quite. Need over. Definitely need to be well over 75. Too sketch. DraftKings bouncing. Sun alert for 50. So football season's here. It's the only hope that these guys have. Nice levels though. Had Live Nation. So okay. Upstart we saw. Just real quick. So Coinbase is on the other list. Okay, so Coinbase 260, that's a 5% move on the day. That's cool. That's crypto. Enphase. Oh. I'm not in it right now. Tough. Lamb Research. Bill.com. This goes in that finance. Yeah, I'm just not quite there yet. Baba. 166. It's getting close. Wow. This guy could totally go to 180. But after that, it'll probably have some trouble. So I'll watch it around 170. They're chugging away. Spotify, what are you doing? Nope, not clearing. Nothing else is super bullish. You can keep Asana on watch. This looks decent. I don't need to jump out at it. This is that 105 level that we were looking at. Yeah, set some alerts. Pioneer. I think that's it. XOP Unity 138. Man, this Unity thing just moves so much every day. How's Snow doing? Nope, no time for Snow. SoFi had some good headlines. It's resistance. Yeah, I'm a little bearish on Amazon right now. This would be good covered calls territory for me. 32.22. There's good premium to be had on this guy. We'll see. Oof. Ouch. All right. I think that's it for me, man.
Yep, same here.
Adios, guys. We got a couple earnings. Probably this is like preseason. Somebody sent it. We got JP Morgan, BlackRock, Delta tomorrow that we'll go over. Wednesday we have the actual earnings trades in Zoom, and then we'll come back instead of the morning after. We'll just come back on the afternoon after, review how the trades went, and then see if we have something else to put on, and we're good. Cool.
Yep.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, see ya.
See ya.